It's Tuesday, November 23rd. This is Jaguars Happy Hour. And now, a guy who refuses to play on the road at 425, J.P. Shadrick.
Flat out, and won't do it. In fact, made the league change it. We'll get to that coming up. Welcome in. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. I'm J.P. Shadrick. We've got a busy couple hours ahead. Well, on this program, every Tuesday, it's Jaguars analyst Jeff Lageman. He's coming up. We'll recap for the final time, thank goodness, Week 11. 49ers over the Jaguars, 30-10. It didn't feel like it was even that close. Looking ahead to Week 11, the Falcons are coming to town to face the Jaguars. Two teams, let's say, struggling offensively. The Urban Meyer Show coming up at 5 o'clock on the Jaguars Radio Network today as well. So a lot to get to. Let's start with San Francisco and Jacksonville. The 49ers a 30-10 winner. The Jags defense couldn't get off the field early. That 13-minute drive plus some. A 20-play drive for the 49ers. They finished it with a field goal. Things could have been okay had the Jags moved on offense. They went 3 and out. San Fran scored the touchdown to make it 10-0. Okay, not too bad. It's early still, kind of into the second quarter. Well, a fumble in the next play. 17-0 San Fran, and they couldn't get out of the hole early in the game. Injuries piled up in the second half. Urban Meyer on Monday coming off the loss.
It's been more than that. It's been 4 weeks, actually. Ever since I thought Miami, there was a lot of promise, a lot of good things being done. Before that, I saw steady improvement, and you're correct. I think when James got, if you remember right, he had 2 big runs in the Seattle game, and he comes out. So I don't want to put it all on him because he's obviously a very valuable member. But whenever someone goes down, someone else has to pick up that flag and go harder, and we're not getting that right now. And so, I think whenever things aren't, on defense, I commend our staff. I met with our staff many times, and we adjusted, adapted to our personnel, and we're playing better. Even yesterday, there's had 3 sacks on that first drive, I believe, and 2 of them were negated because of penalty, offside, and a hold. But I like the way our defense, when you say you give up that many points, to me that was when you have a 20-play drive, you hold them to 3 points, and had 3 sacks in that drive, and you extended by penalties. I consider that a win. But then 30 seconds later, the defense is back on the field, and then 30 seconds again later, they're back because of a fumble. So everybody's got to hold up their end of the bargain.
Didn't work out for the Jags, obviously, this past week. They got only 200 yards of offense for the day, turned the ball over a couple times. The time of possession in the ball game was just well in favor of San Francisco, 38 minutes, 22 seconds. Jeff Lageman joining us now, Jaguars analyst. Good afternoon to you, Jeff.
Good afternoon.
Our final look at the San Fran-Jacksonville game. And, going back and talking about it last night with Baselli and Prisco, they both watched the tape, and they were like,
wait a minute.
Boy,
Prisco doesn't watch the tape.
He watches the tape, apparently.
He can watch the tape, but it's like trying to read Greek. He doesn't have the qualifications to watch the tape.
Whatever language it's in, it wasn't pretty. I'll say that.
I'm just taking a little shot at my good friend Pete.
Right.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, look, it wasn't very good. And Pete could see that, and a lot of other people could see that. Offensively, the team continues to struggle. That's now 43 points in 4 games. And that's just not good enough. And you can't win football games when you're here's the reality. 7 of the 10 points that they scored against the 49ers was garbage time.
And you know what? Like, even the last month, the 4 touchdowns they've scored have all been garbage time.
Yeah, they've all been garbage time. I mean, this offense right now is in a funk. I mean, a big funk. And,
with a capital F.
Well, and the problem with being in the funk is that, typically you get out of it with, you go back to what your core is. And your core is with your offensive line and James Robinson. Okay, well, James Robinson is not 100% healthy. Mm-hmm. But here's the reality. James Robinson, not 100% healthy, is still better than Carlos Hyde healthy. That's reality. So you have to still play James Robinson. I mean, in a perfect world, you'd like to say, hey, look, let's just give James Robinson a week off because then he'll get back to full speed and he'll be okay. Well, no, that might not be the case. It might not be. He might not be healthy all year, even if you give him a week or two off.
So here's got to be the challenge moving ahead. These defenses and defensive coordinators and opposing coaches now know, obviously, if you turn on the tape the last month, that Jaguars receivers are having some issues getting open consistently.
Sure.
I think that's a nice way to say it.
I think it's twofold, JP. Now, it's not all on the receivers now.
Right.
It's I think that's receivers, and I think the coaches have to scheme better.
But my point is, then you can bring extra guys in to defend the run. Because if that's what they're going to lean on, the Jaguars, right? I mean, that's the challenge.
I'll tell you this. In the last couple games specifically, if you looked at and you analyzed the Colts and the 49ers, what are they not afraid to do? They're not afraid to play the Jaguars in man. There's nobody that scares you. Seriously. I mean,
especially with Agnew out now.
JP,
right?
Even with Agnew.
Even when he was in there.
How many drops did he have?
He's had some. Yeah.
Big time, right? I mean, so if you can't catch the ball consistently, are you a legitimate threat?
Even if you're open, right. Yeah, right.
No.
That's a good point.
No, but he's an explosive player, and he's one that gets better separation than everybody else. So when your biggest threat is still not even something that would make a defensive coordinator worrisome, that's a bit of an issue. And so it is what it is. I mean, they had a couple guys that they were going to be counting on, DJ Chark and obviously Travis Etienne. But you know what? That happens to every team in the league. I mean, every team in the league has to deal with some change in the lineup to where they don't have somebody that they were expecting. So should they sit there and go, woe's me? No. I mean, that's just part of life in the NFL. And so you just got to do a better job of coaching up the ones you got and then the guys that are going to play. And you got to do a better job of scheming them up. I mean, that's just what you have to do.
That's the in-season part of it. Now, the off-season organizational big picture look is you better stock the pantry a little bit better with jars on the shelf and get guys ready to roll. You know, that takes a year or two of time to getting guys in here. That's the big picture look. But in the scheme of this season, in the scope of this season, you're right on it. I mean, they're kind of to the point now. It's week 12 coming up.
Well, I mean, think about during training camp. You know, you got you signed Taven Alston, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, and Taven was signed kind of as an afterthought.
But he came in immediately, was like making plays on the field.
Did a pretty good
camp.
job.
Yeah,
Did
first end around on the first day. Oh, who is this guy? Okay, wow, he's still got a little something.
Okay, have you had a wow moment with him yet this season?
Not
in the regular season.
In regular season.
I mean, I haven't seen one either, and I'm not trying to be critical of him, but my point is that, okay, and then you bring in John Brown. Well, John Brown you just got, and now he was active.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about practice squad?
No, he was on the practice squad.
No. I'm asking, what about your practice squad?
Oh, the other guys.
I mean, you got how many guys on practice squad that are wide receivers?
Let's see. Josh Hammond, Tim Jones, Jeff Cotton Jr. are three. Those are the three.
Okay, you got three guys on practice squad that are wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can they play? I mean, that's the point where you're at. And I'm not trying to be facetious. I'm just trying to make a point is that, that's where you're at right now. Is that if you're not getting better with what you're doing and with the personnel that you're using and the play calls that you're using, so there's one of two things that you have to do. I mean, you can sit there and say, well, we're just going to go back to work. Okay, that's fine and dandy. But at some point, you have to change something. Is it changing personnel? Okay, that might be it. Take a look at the guys that are on practice squad. Okay, another option might be call it differently. That might be it. Okay, Get a little different look, maybe a little different play calling. Maybe change up the way you prepare. I mean, so that's because the definition of insanity is what?
Yeah, doing it over and over. Right.
And expecting a different result.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying you're at the point where you're just, you're going insane with this Jaguars offense, but you're not getting the results that you want.
I don't know. I might argue the other way.
You might be going insane, JP. I'm not quite going insane yet, but it's getting close to that to where, look, you need to look at doing something different. And I'm sure that has been and will be a major focus this week with coaching.
They didn't target Dan Arnold last week. He
why?
Was the leading
Tell
target.
Me why.
Well, I'm going to ask you why. He was the leading target, leading receiver, leading yardage receiver since he arrived here and did not get an official target in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Urban said earlier this week, in fact yesterday, that kind of bracketed coverage on him some. He is the leading receiver on the team.
Again, here, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm not saying that Dan Arnold is George Kittle. I'm not saying that Dan Arnold is Travis Kelce. But how do they continue to get the ball to those guys? Any answers?
No, I don't know. You tell me.
Okay. They scheme it up.
Yeah.
And they make sure the ball goes to them because
just feed it. Just force it.
Yeah, you find a way.
Throw it. Yeah.
You find a way. And I'm like I said, I'm not saying that Dan Arnold is Travis Kelce or George Kittle because he's not. But he is one of the best options that you have in your offense. And, we watched Gronkowski last night with Tom Brady. Did you watch that game?
Some of it, yes.
Okay. From what you saw, did you see some of the short throws to Gronkowski? Just kind of almost like a run here. Hey, Gronk just runs down the field 4 yards, turns around, and there you go.
Stick route here.
Here you go.
Yep, a little out. Yeah, you're fine.
Right?
Yep, move the sticks. Boom. Yep.
What's wrong with doing some of that?
I don't know.
With Dan Arnold? I mean, so my point is that you got to take a hard look at everything that you're doing from a personnel standpoint, from a play calling standpoint, because you've got a young quarterback that you've got to develop. And you got to make things a little bit easier for him. I watched the Patriots last Thursday, as a lot of other people did. And Mac Jones was having a lot of open receivers to throw to. And are the New England Patriots skill position players that much better than the Jaguars? Or that much better than a lot of other people? I mean, maybe they're a little better.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, but
the scheme and it sets up well for Mac Jones right now.
Look, they do a real good job with their offensive system, and they've done a really good job because they're completing at a rate of over 70%. Yeah. I think it's the second best completion percentage in the National Football League, and they're doing that with a rookie quarterback.
And you can argue that, okay, a lot of that's short. There's not pushing the ball down the field a lot, but it's successful.
What's wrong with that?
I'm with you. We've heard for years around here, he doesn't push the ball down the field, right? That's a problem. But when you're completing 70% and winning games, that's a different animal.
Yeah, and then look, they spent a ton of money in the offseason. Okay, so I'm not trying to say, but my point is with that is that, look, you got to find a way and you got to look at what you're doing. And you can't just sit there and continue to say, well, we got to get back to work. Sometimes you got to go, hey, look, let's get back to work and look at what we're doing. Mm-hmm. So maybe you can find a different answer or a different solution or another way of going about your business to maybe try to get something different happening. And so because if you keep going out there with this, with a young quarterback, I mean, you want to talk about a quick way to erode and completely nullify confidence. I mean,
that's right.
I mean, JP, if you're Trevor Lawrence, are you feeling very confident right now?
I mean, considering everything that's happened the last month, it's waning.
Yeah,
I would I were.
Look, I know that he's built right mentally. He's built and he's tough and he can handle all this kind of stuff. But this is uncharted water.
Yeah.
What is he? How many games did he lose in high school and college altogether?
2 or 3.
Like 3 or 4.
Yeah,
I think
not
it was.
Not even
4.
a handful. Right.
It was like 86-4.
Yeah.
So. Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's see what happens.
So there you have it. We're off and
but
running.
here's the good thing.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to put a little bit of brightness.
Okay. We need to bring this back up again. Yeah.
We'll bring it back up.
You're
playing a football team this week's not very good.
Right, but it is also a football team that is a game out of the NFC wild card. Believe that?
Yeah, I know, but come on. I mean, let's be real.
I'm just saying.
They can be a game out of the wild card, but that's not because they're a good football team.
They've been outscored 68-3 the last 2 weeks.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And their offense is not very good. Mm-hmm. They don't run the ball very well. Their defense is not very good. They don't score a lot of points offensively. They give up some points defensively. They don't stop the run very well. This is a team, and the Atlanta Falcons are in a serious rebuild mode. A serious rebuild mode in which they don't have the money. They don't have any money.
Right.
And so they're going to have to sit there and wait until the draft picks can heal them. And so they're a ways out, unless all of a sudden they get hit on everything that they've had, which they hit on the tight end, Pitts.
Yes.
But did they really hit on him?
He's got one touchdown.
Were they
year.
a genius for analyzing that? Or
anybody could have done
32
that.
teams in the league had the young guy rated that high.
If you're picking fourth, then he was there. Okay, that's not
but this is a game that the Jaguars have a good chance in, and the Falcons are probably saying the exact same thing.
There's no doubt about that. And, we talk about the Jaguars' offensive scoring issues, 43 points over the last 4 games. That's the exact number for the Atlanta Falcons as well over their last 4 games.
Not
43
good.
points.
Not good. And they've got a veteran quarterback, Matt Ryan, which I've never been a big fan of Matt Ryan. I mean, me and Baselli used to argue about this all the time. He would tell me that Matt Ryan's a great quarterback. He's a franchise guy. And I'm sitting there going, no, he's not.
Well, I'll say this. Matt
Ryan. He's been pretty good. He's had a great career.
And he's 3-0 all time against the Jaguars. I know that.
He has been that. And he's had a great career, by the way.
Sure.
MVP, I'm not trying to say that he stinks. That's not what I'm saying. Because our argument, me and Tony, that we used to have was he a franchise guy that you would be happy with? And his argument was yes. Matt Ryan's a franchise guy. You can build around him. You can win a Super Bowl with him. And my contention was he's a really good quarterback. But I'm going to continue looking to find that guy that's special, because I never felt that Matt Ryan was special. And maybe I'm wrong.
Well, they were, a half away from winning that Super Bowl.
They were maybe some play calls away from winning the Super Bowl.
Maybe a couple of runs
How
away.
about running the ball?
Right. Hey, let's come back. Jaguars defensive talk. What the heck happened on that side of the ball this past week?
Penalties.
Okay, well, I thought we were going to tease what was happening.
Well, that's part of it.
Okay, good.
Part of it.
Don't give everything away.
I won't.
Penalties are part of it, but there's plenty more ahead on the defensive side. PRI Productions, the official event production company of the Jags, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com, and we're off and running. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by Dreamfinders Homes, homes that fit your lifestyle. And by Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat even after all these years. Head over to Tito'sVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
Great teams leave it all on the field. But with the powerful towing and payload that Ford F-150 delivers, you can take it all with you, too. No wonder Ford F-Series is America's best-selling truck 44 years straight. The 2021 Ford F-150, built for greatness. Visit your local Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
Want to see the Jaguars take on the Tennessee Titans on the road? Here's your chance. Revente Cognac and the Jaguars are teaming up to send one lucky fan and a guest from Duval to Nashville for the big game. Enter now at jaguars.com/Revente Trip for your chance to win round-trip flights, lodging, and game tickets courtesy of Revente Cognac. No purchase necessary. Must be 21 or older to enter. Follow Revente Cognac on social media at Revente Cognac and visit ReventeCognac.com today.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The station that the Jaguars listen to, 1010XL. Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
There's not much left to say. You know, like you said, just gotta keep going. Season's not gonna get canceled. We got 8 more games. 7 or 8? 7 more games left. We got a lot of ball left. Just get better every week. But yeah, I'm not gonna sit up here and say all the positive things that came out of it. There's not much out of today. Got our butt kicked. Didn't look good all the way around. So where you go from here is just keep going to work. Everybody stay together. Keep fighting. I know I will. I'm never gonna quit. And I know we got enough guys to turn this thing around, and it's up to us. We got to make that decision. So just got to keep working.
That's the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, of course, after the game Sunday. A Jaguars lost to the San Francisco 49ers. And welcome back to Jaguars Happy Hour. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman coming up at 5 o'clock. The Urban Meyer Show. The Jaguars face the Atlanta Falcons in Week 12 coming up this Sunday after Thanksgiving. Let's flip a little bit.
I thought for a minute there that you said I was coming up at 5 o'clock. I was about to say, all right, see ya.
You're going to be here too, right?
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. But, for a minute there, I was kind of worried, like I was not supposed to be here until 5.
Oh, you can come whenever you want, man. This is your world. We're just living in it.
It's your world. Jimmy.
No. We're just here.
It is all your world.
Jaguars defense. I don't think I've ever seen college or pro a 20-play drive, first of all. A 13-minute drive, second of all. That's in fact, it's the second longest drive by time in league history.
I think it was the longest drive since like 1997. Is that right?
Yeah, the Oilers did it, I think. Yeah, that's how long ago it was. It's been a while. This is
For
crazy.
real?
Yeah.
It was really the Oilers?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, were they in Tennessee or were they in Houston?
I
sent you the text
I'd
on
have to look it up.
and I couldn't remember exactly. I didn't really pay much attention. I was looking at the date, not really paying attention to the teams.
They were 16 seconds off the league record. The longest in the NFL, at least the one that's happened longest since then was 1997, the Tennessee Oilers against the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, so they were in Tennessee at that point. That's what I was wondering.
13 minutes, 27 seconds.
Wow.
So, you're 17 or what?
Well,
the math is on that.
Here's the reality. That drive doesn't happen for 13 minutes if you don't commit penalties.
What in the world was going on with those?
You got a hold on Rayshon on a third down.
Was it legit?
Yes.
Okay.
You had an offsides on Smoot on a 3rd and 4.
Yes, you did.
Hello.
Not good.
That's like defensive line 101. Okay, when it's 3rd and less than 5, you got to hold your water, and you better be ready for the hard count. That was one of those. Oh, I can't believe they got me on that. I'm knucklehead. I'm sure Smoot was not happy with himself on that one. But you had those 2 penalties on that drive. And
they ended up converting a 3rd and 12.
It was a 3rd and 12 to Ayuk, and I made a note of that.
Yeah.
And then here's the reality. They had 10 guys on the field for that little 20-yard field goal. And they ran the 11th guy out there. If the 49ers had some awareness and noticed that there was a Jaguar running onto the field and snapped the ball, it would have been half the distance to the goal.
First down.
And it would have been a first down. It would have been enough for a first down, and the 49ers could have had a longer drive than what they had.
Wow.
Because that was one of 3 instances in that game to where they had 10 guys on the field.
That's still going on, man. And then, wow.
Yeah, because you had...
Was it all special teams or was it all over the place?
Well, you had the punt which Logan Cook was daydreaming on the sideline with the helmet in his hand, and I'm looking down at him going, he doesn't realize he's supposed to be out there.
Wow.
Are you? And then all of a sudden he realizes it because Wingard, the personal protector,
waving at him.
He's about ready to. He's down. He's like,
jacks.
all right, ready, set, and he turns around to make sure that it's okay to say, hike or whatever. Right. The personal protector tells the center that it's okay to snap. Either that or the center was turning around looking at Wingard, going, "Dude,
what are you doing?
We got no punter." Wingard turns around and looks, puts his hands up in the air, like, "Okay." Where's our punter?
Little help here.
And that's when Logan, I'm looking down at him, and I have not said a word. I'm just watching this kind of unfold. And I looked down, and I wanted to see what Logan was going to do when he realized that he is the punter and he's not on the field. And as I'm looking down, he was like, oh, and runs out on the field, and he's throwing a helmet on top of his head, trying to buckle the chin strap and avoid the necessity to use a timeout, but it was too late. Timeout.
Wow.
But shouldn't have used a timeout. You're at midfield. Just take the delay of game.
Yeah, right.
I mean, just take the delay of game. I mean, that's
two
not
times,
that big of a deal.
That's 2 on special teams that they had only 10.
Goal line. Goal line. Jaguars were on goal line defense. 49ers coming to and then there goes somebody running on the field to be the 11th guy. And got there in time. But I mean, come on now. I mean, it's
week 12, week 11.
It's week 11. You got 10 games. You had to bye weeks. Week 11. Okay, week 1 maybe. And here's the thing: the last 2 weeks, the Buffalo game, the Indianapolis game. I mean, you were pretty clean for the most part about personnel substitutions, alignment, and when you're clean on your substitutions, alignment, et cetera, it allows you to be cleaner and to play faster as a defense. Mm-hmm. When you are having substitution issues and you're trying to get guys lined up, the focus is about getting guys lined up. And, oh, my gosh, I'm worried about JP. JP, is he behind his mic? Joe, he's not behind his mic. Oh, my gosh. Instead of me thinking about what my job is.
Looking at the keys for
and
the offense
and looking exactly
right.
and looking at what I'm supposed to be paying attention to. Yeah. But, no, I'm over here paying attention because you're not behind the mic. I mean, what the what?
Right.
I mean, come on. And that part is disappointing. And to be honest with you, moments like that get to be embarrassing. In week 11, come on. I mean, and
we remember that week 1. We saw a lot of that week 1, right? Guys were running on late. They had too many men on the field.
And look, you don't even expect to have that happen in week 1.
I know, but I'm just telling you. That's when it was week 1.
Week 11. I mean,
week 11 now.
If you had an injury. Because here's an instance to where you're like, okay, I can get it. You haven't, but still, it shouldn't even happen in this case. But here's a case that can happen, to where you get an injury. Let's say you get a safety injured, okay, and he is and you're on defense, and all of a sudden you're getting ready to run punt return, and all of a sudden one of the safeties got hurt. He's on your punt return unit. But then the special teams coach didn't know, or somebody didn't know that he was hurt. So now all of a sudden we got to figure out, oh my gosh, he can't play on punt returns. So the communication. So in that instance, you would say, okay, that might be an understandable type situation. But when you're the punter,
yeah, that's not much of an excuse on that one.
Wow.
Not at all.
I don't think he'll ever forget that. Seriously. I don't think
he might run out there on 3rd down next week just to be out there, just in case.
I don't think Logan will ever forget that. And I don't think he'll ever have a moment in the rest of his career where he's not on the field for punting.
Josh Allen's game. Career high 10 tackles.
Mm-hmm.
A tackle for loss, and forced a fumble on the opening drive.
That's the big point.
That could have stopped that thing.
That's the big point.
Yeah.
I love players that want to get better. I love players that study the game and to add things that they see from other players and add it to their game. So you go back and you think about, okay, the Jaguars are getting ready to face the Indianapolis Colts, and there's a lot of conversation about Darius Leonard. Oh, yeah, man, he's really good. Jaguars got to see him when he play on short week, so it was a Monday night game. Got to see Jonathan Taylor, got to see Darius Leonard punch the ball out. I'm sure that Josh Allen was watching that. And then, of course, the announcers are talking about how Darius Leonard is one of the best in the league at punching the ball out. You know, there's a little history there. Charles Peanut Tillman of the Chicago Bears was the best ever at it. And he's the first one that I think brought it to modern-day football to where he was literally punching the ball, targeting the ball, not trying to grab it and rip it out, punching the ball as he's coming in. So Josh probably sees that on Monday Night Football, and then the week's prep, Darius Leonard conversation with people asking questions, and then also prepping for the game. You're hearing about Darius Leonard and his forced fumbles. Like, okay, you tried a little bit in that game, and then you're getting ready to face the San Francisco 49ers and the veteran Josh Norman, who used to be a really good corner in the league, really good corner. And he's slowing down a little bit. He's still starting quality player, but he leads the league in forced fumbles going into this game. So Josh Allen sees that. And so he adds that to the game. Early in the game, he punches the ball out. It's on the turf. Jaguars don't recover. But, I mean, just the awareness and the improvement that he makes to his game, because that's the kind of player he is. He's constantly trying to find ways to be better. That's what you love about a Josh Allen type of a guy. And you can never have enough of those type of guys. I love the way he preps. I love the way he plays. He is an every down player. He doesn't play just for sacks, which is sexy and gets you to Pro Bowls. He plays for everything. He plays for the caused fumbles, the tackles, and to be good and to improve his team. That's what I love about him.
And the interceptions this year, too. He's got one of those.
Which was a great job of just being aware and following the eyes of the quarterback on a little bit of a zone read. Outstanding play. I mean, that's what makes Josh Allen special, in that he is contributing. If you look at his stats, like if you look at the top sackers in the league, okay, you go to we go to the website NFLJesus.com. Okay, and we call it Jesus because it's NFLGSIS.com. It's a statistical website that all of people in the media end up using for broadcasting, et cetera. And you pull up the top sackers in the league.
Okay, I got them.
Have you done that?
I am doing it.
Okay,
stand by. Yes.
Look at the other categories of the guys on that list. Okay, so you look from Josh up. How many other categories do a lot of those big dogs have?
They've got tackles for loss. They've got quarterback hits. They've got forced fumbles.
Okay, well, when you get on the quarterback, you can get a forced fumble. I mean, how about their tackles? Give me a ballpark of what's the highest tackling guy.
50s in the mid high fit. Harold Landry has 57 tackles. He's the highest of Micah Parsons.
Micah's a great player,
right?
Great young player.
But he's got 8 sacks. You know, Myles Garrett has 37 tackles, 13 sacks, leads the league in sacks. Watt, 12.5 sacks, 39 tackles.
Okay,
Hassan,
how many tackles does Josh have?
Josh Allen is over 50 now.
Okay, he's over 50 tackles.
That's right. And he's got
an interception?
51 tackles, 5.5 sacks, 9 for a loss, 12 quarterback hits, interception, 4 passes defensed.
There you go. How many pass defense do the other guys have? What's the
TJ Watt has 4. Some guys don't have any, you know.
And my point is
get their hands up.
There's not many guys that stretch across the broad range of categories as Josh Allen does.
Yeah.
And that's what makes him the player that he is. And this defense it's a perfect fit for him, because he can do so many different things, and he does them all very well. I mean, he is, if you can just find, I mean, look, and Smoot's been really good. Don't get me wrong. But if you can find a guy to pair him with an interior rush guy, and then if you can find, because look, the 3-4 is built and runs on the talents of the linebackers. If you can find another linebacker that can disrupt the game and affect the game like him, you're sitting pretty.
We'll come back and take a look at the Atlanta Falcons, the Week 12 opponent. 4-6, Logs. A game off the wild card in the NFC.
Yeah, they're really a contender.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah,
the standings don't lie.
The standings don't lie. I totally understand that, but I can tell you one thing. The Falcons are not a contender.
Okay, well, we'll get into that when we come back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by TIAA Bank. Turn potential into progress. And by Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat even after all these years. Head over to Tito'sVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
Jags fans, did you know you can ride your bike to every Jaguars home game at TIAA Bank Field in Valley Park it for free? That's right. Stop by our bicycle check-in tent sponsored by Alert Today Florida near Gate 1 at TIAA Bank Field. An on-duty ZenCog bike professional will park your bike and ensure it's secure during the game. When the game is over, return your claim ticket to pick up your bike. For cycling safety tips, visit alerttodayflorida.com. Remember, Alert Today, Alive Tomorrow, because safety doesn't happen by accident.
So, it's happy hour. Let's talk whiskey options. Have you tried Citrus Distillers? Have you tried Citrus Distillers Limited Edition 2021 Barrel-Aged Jaguar Whiskey? Did you know it's only available for a limited time and manufactured in Jacksonville? Yes, Jacksonville. I said local whiskey. Try it on the rocks or in a Jack's Whiskey Sour. Citrus Distillers Jaguars Whiskey is available at local liquor stores, restaurants, and the Jaguar Stadium. Drink local, Jacksonville. Find recipes and events at jaguarswhiskey.com.
Ready to take the next step toward the ultimate you. Dr. Patrick Basil, official plastic surgeon of the Jacksonville Jaguars, presents the Ultimate You Sweepstakes. Enter for a chance to win a cool sculpting treatment package valued at $4,500, plus a Jaguars performance training session. Receive your free customized treatment in a relaxed, modern, patient-centered environment. Learn more and enter the sweepstakes at jaguars.com/ultimateyou or call 904-222-6262. Terms and conditions apply. No purchase necessary.
Headquartered right here in Jacksonville, CSI Companies is one of the fastest growing workforce solutions companies in the nation. As a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars, CSI has the resources necessary to scale with any enterprise, yet they are small enough to maintain the agility, personal service, and remarkable experience they've become known for over the past 3 decades. This is your workforce and your business reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com to learn more.
Great teams leave it all on the field. But with the powerful towing and payload that Ford F-150 delivers, you can take it all with you, too. No wonder Ford F-Series is America's best-selling truck 44 years straight. The 2021 Ford F-150, built for greatness. Visit your local Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
Dempsey and Fat Tony. Jaguars Today. All Jaguars, all NFL, all the time. 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
Like offensive coordinator and quarterback, you're going to catch all the good things when you're playing well and catch all the bad when things aren't going well in offense. So we just all gotta help each other out. We gotta help Bev out. I mean, there's only so much he can do. You know, he's the one calling the plays. We're the ones out there on the field, and we gotta make plays, and we have to be better. So we haven't had any detailed conversation yet. I talked to him right after, and I got his back. You know, we're in it together. I know he's the same way with me, so I'm not concerned about that.
That's Trevor Lawrence, of course, Jaguars quarterback, discussing the relationship and conversations with Darrell Bevell, the offensive coordinator. And welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour, and Jaguars Game Day broadcasts are presented by ViStar Credit Union. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman. Glad you're along with us. 5 o'clock, we'll have the Urban Meyer Show. And
always good to be here, as opposed to the other option, which is to not be here.
Deep philosophical today, Logs. You got your glasses on. I mean, I can feel
it helps me see
the Lageman energy today going into Thanksgiving.
I have.
Thank you, Joe, for that.
I have what you call, these are, as my age starts to advance, I have these progressive lenses now. I guess what they call, where you can
really,
for seeing like in a game broadcast, I got to look through the top of these things to see jersey numbers and such.
Are they bifocals?
No.
Or is it just like they transition all the way down?
They're like progressives. Are they progressives or transitions?
I don't know.
They're progressives or whatever they're called. If you want to see a distance, you look through the top of the glass. If you want to see up close, you look through the bottom. And I need them both.
Yeah, we're all going to be there one day, I think.
You're already there.
I'm not there. I don't have bifocals.
What do you wear glasses for?
Well, because I can't see far away.
Well, what do you need to see far away in here for? I'm like 7 feet from you. We're socially distant. Do you need 7 feet of glasses?
No, I'm not that bad, but
okay.
I still need them.
All right, well, it makes you look better too. Makes you look
I
more.
need all the help I can get with that. I need a lot of help with that one. Hey, let's get into the Atlanta Falcons now. Logs 2-8 for the Jaguars. The Falcons, of course, 4-6, and they're a game off the wild card in the NFC. And you don't buy it at all.
What do you mean? Like
that they're a contender?
Well, they're not a contender.
I mean, what if they win this week, and the other teams lose? Then they're 6 or 7.
Yeah, but they're not a contender.
I mean, what if
they're not playing good enough football to be a contender?
What if they get Patterson back? What if they, Ridley's been out for a while with some off the field stuff. If he figures it out, I don't know.
Kyle
Pitts gets going. Okay. I don't know. I'm just saying.
There's a lot of what ifs.
A lot of what ifs
for the Falcons, and the running. Here's the reality on the Falcons. Just a couple stats for you.
Can't wait.
To why I think that they're not a contender.
Hit me.
They're 27th in the league in scoring.
That's not good. But that sounds familiar. Actually.
Matt Ryan, the veteran, is 24th in quarterback rating.
That's not ideal.
Okay. You ready for some more?
Sure.
They're 30th in the National Football League at running the football.
That's not good for any. It's 79 yards a game.
And a lot of times that ranking can be a little bit confusing because I always look at this number, which is the yards gained per rush ranking. Mm-hmm. Well, the Falcons are 31st.
That's next to last.
Not good.
Next to last.
That's correct.
Yeah.
They're averaging 3.42 yards per rush. Cordero Patterson is their leading rusher, averaging 3.9 yards a carry. Their starting running back, Mike Davis, a whopping 3.2. His backup, Gallman, is averaging 3.5. That's not very good. Compare that to the Jaguars running game, which is ranked 4th in yards gained per play at 4.96. So at least the Jaguars are running the ball fairly effectively. The Falcons are not. The Falcons' defense, second worst in the National Football League at allowing points.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
That's right.
They are
nearly 29 points a game.
28.8 to be exact. They have the 4th fewest takeaways in the National Football League with 9. 4 interceptions and 5 fumble recoveries. They're not a great football team. And that's the reality. Are they better than the Jaguars right now? Yeah.
By record.
Yeah. They're better than the Jaguars right now.
You are what your record says you are.
But they are not a contender.
How do you cover Kyle Pitts?
You treat him like a wide receiver because that's what he is. I mean, he's big, he's strong, he's physical, he's fast, but he doesn't line up and play like a traditional tight end. And I wouldn't consider him a tight end. Tight end is somebody that you have to match up with, and it's difficult to match up with because they are equally as effective as a blocker and also as a receiver. Perfect example was last week, George Kittle. Great player. You have to treat him like he is a really good blocker because he is. They line him up next to tackles, and he can block just as good as an offensive lineman. Kyle Pitts, they can't line him up next to a tackle and expect him to block like George Kittle. He can't. So you treat him like a wide receiver.
Right, because he's so good down the field. Why would you even really worry about him right off the tackle?
And you better find a way to have, whether it be a safety over the top, having somebody buzzing underneath of him. I mean, you got to make sure that you give him plenty of attention, and the Patriots did a really good job against him. And that's one of the things that Belichick does best with the New England Patriots. He always does a great job of taking away your strength so that you don't feel very comfortable as an offense or as a play caller, because that's where play callers want to be. They want to have a comfort zone, and that's what Belichick does. He may lose a football game, but he's not going to lose a football game having your best player have his best day. That's not how he rolls.
Falcons defense, Foyesade Oluokun, one of the top tacklers in the NFL. He goes as Foye. That's his given name is the longer version. But 10 tackles last week, 110 for the season.
Mm-hmm.
That's tied for third in the National Football League. A 6th-round pick by the Falcons out of Yale in 2018.
Powerhouse.
And he's a good player.
Yale. Yeah, he's a good player. Deion Jones, good player.
Yes.
I mean, they got two good linebackers, and then they've got some youth elsewhere. But Dante Fowler's one of their outside linebackers. A lot of Jaguar fans know him. And but the Falcons, look, I think it's pretty neat, first of all, that Arthur Smith, who is their head coach, former offensive coordinator of the Tennessee Titans, and from what I understand, he is highly respected as an offensive coordinator, highly respected as an individual. And he coaxed Dean Pease out of retirement, the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Dean Pease is one of the best. I mean, I'm talking one of the best coordinators that you could have in the National Football League, and he's done a great job historically everywhere that he's been. If Dean Pease can't get this defense to play better than the second most points allowed in the National Football League as a defense, then that means they've got some talent issues on defense.
Mm-hmm.
And they do. And they just don't have the money to address it, and it's going to take time for them to be able to utilize their draft picks, et cetera. So when you have this new change of administration and at the top with the new general manager in Atlanta and then also the new head coach, I mean, this is a commitment to where they know, and Arthur Blank knew that this was not going to happen overnight. They knew it was going to take time. And that's what it is. But I was surprised that Arthur Smith, and that probably tells you how good of a guy that Arthur Smith is, that if Dean Pease comes out of retirement to work for him.
Right. Pease was a longtime coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens on defense, and then the Titans 18 and 19. That's where he and Smith got together, because Arthur Smith was with Tennessee for basically his whole NFL career.
Dean Pease came out of retirement for Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Okay, then he
shifted
works
over
for
to
Mike, and then he goes back to retirement. And then Arthur Smith gets the job in Atlanta, and he's able to talk him out of retirement. And we know what kind of a guy Vrabel is. Good dude. I mean, I've known Mike a long time. Good guy, great dude. And right now, he's shown to be one hell of a coach.
Final thought on the Falcons defense here. Dante Fowler Jr. is on the Falcons roster, signed a 3-year contract for a lot of money. Well, I'm sure he'll be motivated for this game.
That was a mistake by Thomas Dimitroff, I thought. I mean, to give Dante Fowler that kind of money, I wouldn't
over $40 million, right?
I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
And Dante Fowler did maybe the smartest thing that he could possibly do. He ended up going to the Rams. That was a trade, I believe.
Yes, it was. Jags traded him to the Rams, but then he signed a 1-year deal for like $14 million with the Rams,
which was crazy.
The next year,
crazy.
Yeah.
So who are you playing with in L.A.?
I mean, Aaron Donald in the middle.
Right,
Hello,
right.
Yes.
Let's see. Let me figure out what I want to do to my career. What's the best thing I can do? Let me build some numbers. Play next to Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Dante Fowler is, it's unfortunate. I mean, the guy's got a lot of talent, but there were some things that he just did not do well and weren't his strongest attributes, and it wasn't able to work here. I mean, athletically, he's one of the most gifted guys I've ever seen. But, you have to be able to have the ability to translate that gift into production, and at times that's where he fell short.
When we return, we'll take a look at the Baptist Health Injury Report, the AFC South results and standings, and then coming up at 5 o'clock, the Urban Meyer Show. If you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, then look no further than Ford F-150, loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between. This truck makes tough look easy. No wonder it's the official truck of the NFL and proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to Tito'sVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
Hi folks, Frank Frangie here to tell you where to find the most authentic Southern Pit barbecue in all of Jacksonville. That's right, Bono's. For 72 years, Bono's has been smoking real pit barbecue right here on the First Coast. Smoked for hours, served in minutes, and always cut to order. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at TIAA Bank Field. Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you want great barbecue, head to Bono's today. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
The Land Rover Defender story began with the simple thought of creating an exceptionally capable off-road vehicle, becoming the go-anywhere, do-anything all-terrain machine. Today, there's a new Land Rover Defender, the toughest and most advanced Land Rover vehicle ever. From the beginning, Land Rover knew the new Defender was capable of great things. Motor Trend's 2021 SUV of the Year is just the latest example. Test drive the new Land Rover Defender today at Land Rover Jacksonville on Atlantic Boulevard, or go to LandRoverJacksonville.com. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual. Ensuring those who serve.
Hey Jaguars fans, it's always game on with Dunkin's $2 medium hot or iced coffee Tuesdays for rewards members. The NFL season is more than just what happens on game day. That's why Dunkin' wants to get you through the game week too. During football season, the best call is always Dunkin'. Whether it's the morning after a late night game or getting hyped for the week to come, pick up a cup of your favorite coffee and tackle the day with Dunkin'. Join today and order ahead of the Dunkin' app. Jacksonville Jaguars run on Dunkin'. Exclusions apply. Participation may vary. Limit 1 per week. Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
When Jaguars news breaks, you'll hear about it first on 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back, Jaguars Happy Hour. Heading into Week 12, the Jags host the Falcons this Sunday at TIAA Bank Field. Veterans, choose VA for the benefits you've earned. Visit choose.va.gov. And a reminder, the inaugural Jacksonville Barbecue Festival is bringing the best barbecue in the nation to Florida December 10th through 12th here at the bank. Award-winning brisket, ribs, burnt-ins, and much more. Enter for free and pay as you go. Or you can go hog wild logs with a VIP pit pass, and that gives you 2.5 hours of all you can eat and drink.
That would not be good for me.
Visit bbqfestjacks.com.
All I could eat and drink?
Yes.
Uber.
Or ambulance.
And a wheelbarrow.
Right, something. My goodness. That's going to be a fun time, of course. A couple weeks away, and tickets available, so check that one out. Let's take a look at the Baptist Health injury report for the Jaguars. Well, they've moved another name to the injured reserve designated to return. Jay Tufele, defensive tackle, moved there today. That starts his 21-day window to get back on track or go on IR for the remainder of the season after that. James O'Shaughnessy still there. Brandon Linder's still there as well. They're still trying to work their way back. We'll see how the week goes for those guys. Jamal Agnew now on reserve injured to join a handful of others. Saw A.J. Canada in the hallway, by the way, from a distance.
How's he doing?
No crutches anymore. That's a good sign.
Good for him.
So that's good news.
A.J.'s a good guy.
And we see, if you follow DJ Chark on Instagram, you see him coming to the games, and, cast is off, and that's a good sign also. So, he kind of takes photos of his leg and stuff. So, if you're into that. Travis Etienne, haven't seen a lot out of him, but,
I did see just a little note. I was watching Linder go through some paces working out before the game this past week on the field. Running, doing kind of like with, the old suicide thing where you run down 5 yards, touch the line, run back 10 yards, touch this line, and run back through.
I need to do some of those, but yeah. I know what you mean.
When's the last time you did something like that?
It's been a minute.
It's been
Got a barbecue fest coming up. I might need to get some in. Right. Let's take a look at
what day of the week is that barbecue fest again?
It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The Jags are on the road that Sunday.
So we could do it Friday, though.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds like
we going?
Right?
Are we going?
I think we're in, right? I think we're going to give it a shot.
I think we ought to go.
I think we ought to go.
I think we ought to go. I think we all ought to just literally belly up.
Literally.
At the table in the bar.
AFC South results this past Sunday. Well, of course, we know what happened to the Jaguars, but the Colts put a number on the Bills, 41-15. Jonathan Taylor had 5 total touchdowns, 32 carries, 185 yards. And then the Texans shocked the Titans, 22-13. Tyrod Taylor had 2 rushing touchdowns in the game.
He was the key there.
He was. And Ryan Tannehill threw 4 interceptions in the game.
Yeah, which is not like him. I mean, that's and I think somebody had A.J. Brown in our fantasy. I wonder who that was.
Wasn't me. I know that.
And didn't work out so well for whoever that was. As a matter of fact,
let me look
at the list and see. I think it was Baselli.
Oh, sorry, Tony.
Oh, no, Tony.
AFC South standings after all of that. Well, it's not good for the Jags. They dropped to last in the division now. Houston has the better division record, and the head-to-head, of course. So Houston 2-8, Jacksonville 2-8, Tennessee 8-3, Indy trying to gain some ground. We'll see.
By the way, take a guess at who Baselli's quarterback was.
Tannehill? He doubled up. He doubled up. That's smart.
Oh no!
Oh boy! The AFC South upcoming schedules for the next 5 weeks. Well, okay. Of course, the Jags have the Falcons at the Rams. That game is now at 4:05 on Fox. Not 4:25 on CBS, the Rams game, Week 13, 2 weeks away now. They just changed that. They flexed some other games around, so that one moved. At Tennessee on the Week 14, Houston here Week 15, and then at the Jets Week 16. Let's take a look. Tennessee Titans at New England, bye week. Jacksonville at Pittsburgh, and then San Francisco. That schedule's pretty interesting. Apparently, obviously, they play like they played yesterday. The Colts have Tampa at Houston, bye week, New England, Arizona. That's a tough schedule also.
Well, look, the one thing about Indianapolis is that if you're running the ball effectively as they have been with Jonathan Taylor, schedule doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's like the great neutralizer. If you've got a great running attack, look at Derrick Henry. Look what Derrick Henry was able to do with the Tennessee Titans and how he's basically been carrying that football team on his back. Jonathan Taylor's doing the same thing. Because, I mean, even though Carson Wentz has had some better moments this year, he's not great consistently. I mean, this past game, he didn't have a very good game at all, because a quarterback ought to have a monster game when you've got Jonathan Taylor doing what he did last week. Just like Garoppolo. Garoppolo had a really good game because
they could run the ball.
They ran the ball.
Right.
So anyway, just saying, Colts are, when you've got a team that can run the ball like the Colts, everybody better look out.
Prediction, are they going to overtake the Titans and win the division?
That's a great question. I just don't believe in Carson Wentz. I don't.
Even with the running game you talked about, and the defense they play in.
And here's the reason why. Because it's just like the Jaguars game. Frank Reich sometimes wants to get a little bit too cute and not rely and let the running back own the ball game. I mean, if I was calling plays against the Jaguars in that game, Carson Wentz wouldn't even have had a sniff of touching the leather and putting it in the air. I would have ran Jonathan Taylor. I would have ran Naheem Hines. I would have said Mac.
Who else?
I would have had Mac active in that game.
Tight end,
Let's
reverse.
Go, man.
Somebody's touching the football.
Yeah, we would have ran the ball every time.
Well, that'll do it for Jaguars Happy Hour. Coming up, the Urban Meyer Show on the Jaguars Radio Network. We will take another look at Week 11, the loss to San Francisco, and look ahead to the Atlanta Falcons coming up as the Jaguars host the Falcons here at TIAA Bank Field. The game this week, by the way, presented by CSX. here at the bank. Hope you can make it out. Hope you have a good holiday as well. Coming up, the Urban Meyer Show. This has been Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Own this thing. It's ours. Come on, let's go. Duval County and 904. Let's own this stadium. Make it ours.
Welcome to the Urban Meyer Show. Urban Meyer Show. Former Jaguar Jeff Lageman and JP Shadrick discuss the latest Jaguars news with the head coach. The Urban Meyer Show starts right now.
Welcome in. It is the Urban Meyer Show. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman. Urban Meyer not with us tonight. Here's why. With the Thanksgiving holiday coming up, we had some schedule changes. Coach Meyer and the staff made some changes there. They're practicing today. So we taped our conversation with Urban yesterday to run today. Unfortunately, we had technical issues and lost the recording. Yes, it's true. So we'll hear from Urban a good bit in this first half hour from his Monday press conference about everything from the San Francisco game. Our apologies for that. But, hey, let's look back at the San Francisco game. A bad start. They had a deep hole. They couldn't climb out of it. A 20-play, 87-yard, 13-minute-plus drive for San Fran opened the game. A 3-and-out after. Offensive issues, no rhythm on that side of the ball, and head coach Urban Meyer, of course, Monday on the struggle. Not only Sunday, but the last month, plus the defense stepping up for the most part.
It's been more than that. It's been 4 weeks, actually. Ever since I thought Miami, there was a lot of promise, a lot of good things being done. Before that, I saw steady improvement, and you're correct. I think when James got, if you remember right, he had 2 big runs in the Seattle game, and he comes out. So I don't want to put it all on him because he's obviously a very valuable member. But whenever someone goes down, someone else has to pick up that flag and go harder, and we're not getting that right now. And so, I think when everything's on defense, I commend our staff. I met with our staff many times, and we adjusted, adapted to our personnel, and we're playing better. Even yesterday, there's 3 sacks on that first drive, I believe, and 2 of them were negated because of penalty, offside, and a hold. But I like the way our defense, when you say you give up that many points, to me, that was when you have a 20-play drive, you hold them to 3 points and had 3 sacks in that drive and you extended by penalties. I consider that a win. But then 30 seconds later, the defense is back on the field. And then 30 seconds again later, they're back because of a fumble. So everybody's got to hold up their end of the bargain.
That's head coach Urban Meyer yesterday in his Monday press conference. Jeff Lageman joining us now. Good afternoon to you, Logs.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't get Urban in person today, but
it was my fault. I pushed the wrong
button. It's unfortunate, but we're going to make the best of it today. And we're going to hear back a little bit from what Urban had to say on Monday. His press conference today, by the way, was so late in the day, we couldn't even really turn that one around to get it ready for the show today.
Well, I mean, look, we did talk to Urban yesterday, and here's the kind of just general impression. I thought we recorded 3 great segments with Thanksgiving week, obviously having a little bit of a challenge from a schedule standpoint. And when he left that press conference, he was a little hot. Okay.
There was a lot of negative things to discuss.
He's a little hot. Okay. And rightly so. I mean, look, he's the head coach of a football team that's not playing well right now. And then he got to us and, took a little bit of a deep breath and, he calmed down. And I thought he was very insightful.
That's usually what people say about us, Logs. We're calming and soothing. We are.
Not really.
No? Okay, maybe not.
No. I give him credit because, look, it's when you commit so much to something and it's not working, it's frustrating. And when you get, the repeated questions and sometimes you feel like I've answered this before and it's, isn't it obvious? Do you really need to ask the question? Sometimes it probably gets a little bit annoying. But, that's just like Pete Carroll this week. Pete Carroll actually walked away from a microphone.
That's right.
and had to spend 30 minutes away, and then he comes back to talk to the media. Urban hasn't done anything like that. I mean, he
stands there and takes it.
He stood up in front of the questions, and he stood up in front of the television camera and the microphone to do a show with us yesterday. And unfortunately, I pushed the wrong button and deleted the recording, so I apologize for that. And sometimes it happens. But I thought he was very forthcoming, and that the one thing that he said to us, he said, look, everything is under evaluation. Everything.
Yeah.
And that's the right answer. So I don't know what's going to change this week. I don't, because he didn't give us that or those specifics. But I can tell you from the tone and from his comment that everything is being looked at.
Yeah.
There's going to be something different this week. I don't know what, and maybe I'm wrong. But did you get that impression?
Well, when he used the term full audit,
that was the term.
That's guess what? There's a full audit going on. Whatever you want that definition to be. They're taking a look at everything. It's week 12, though. That's the unfortunate part of this thing, that it has to happen this deep into a season.
Right, and that's what that's
where the frustration comes from.
Look, the New York Giants just underwent some change today. Reports are that they have fired their offensive coordinator, Jason Garrett. I'm not saying that something like that's going to happen, but I'm saying is that, look, when you're not playing well, there's change coming. That's how it works in this league. And they nobody wants to get it fixed better than the head coach or Darrell Bevell, the offensive coordinator. I mean, look, they're working their tails off. They work hard. People work hard to try to make this football team and this offense better and to get it to take steps. And for whatever reason, sometimes that doesn't happen, and it gets to be frustrating. And the one thing I think that you got to make sure that you do as a coach is that you just can't let the frustration lead to anything that is irrational. You have to be logical and methodical in some of your decision-making process and your evaluation. You got to take the emotion out of it.
There's obviously so much pressure week to week in this league.
That's how it works.
That's how it is.
Why
that was in the brochure, by the way.
Yeah, that's why they get paid the big bucks.
No doubt.
In coaching. I mean, those guys, and when they sign up for coaching, they understand that with it comes criticism, and with it comes with the possibility that you may be looking for a job next year, and that the entire staff may end up not being here next year. I mean, that's how it works in the National Football League. I mean, that's the pressure cooker that it can become. And I think a lot of times with coaches, all that, and they're great at it, that they block all that noise out. The noise that we make noise, and fans make noise, and talk radio makes noise. They do a great job. They've got blinders on and they go to work. I mean, that's what they do.
Some do.
They go to work.
Some do. Some will listen to some of that.
Oh, there's no doubt.
I mean, some have rabbit ears, but it doesn't feel like this.
And if you got rabbit ears, you don't have much of a chance.
No,
but there are some.
It never stops.
Yeah, you're very right on that.
Hey, we'll come back. Plenty ahead. We'll hear from Urban again yesterday on possible maybe lineup changes. They're talking about some of that stuff.
I don't know.
As part of the full audit, we'll hear from him on Jamal Agnew's injury, why they couldn't get a target for Dan Arnold last week. That's all ahead, and we're off and running. It's the Urban Meyer Show on the Jaguars Radio Network.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh. She's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
It's been around longer than your quarterback. When you put it on, everyone knows it's game time. So legendary, it deserves its own Hall of Fame. Members-only jackets. Undeniable quality and style for over 45 years. Scratch and claw your way over to membersonly.com. Get ready for football season with a jacket that can only be summed up in one word: iconic. Use discount code Jaguars at checkout for 35% off on all iconic racer jackets. Members only. When you put it on, something happens.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk, checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk, checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back. The Urban Meyer Show continues along the Jaguars Radio Network.
Welcome back. Jaguars Game Day broadcasts are presented.
Question, John, and that's one that I pose to our staff constantly, also to the players. And there's no simple solution. Competition is the greatest motivator of all. And if we feel like, there is that available, then, that's a great motivator. And I don't want to get too specific because it's not my position to throw anybody under the bus, but we have to play better. If not, you have to make a change.
My apologies, Urban. That's, of course, head coach Urban Meyer. This is the Urban Meyer Show on the Jaguars Radio Network. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman. As we mentioned earlier, with the Thanksgiving holiday coming up, there were some schedule changes in the building this week. We taped our conversation with Urban yesterday to run today, but lost the recording. Technical issues here in the building. So our apologies for not having Urban with us today, but we'll hear plenty from his Monday press conference about everything from the San Francisco game. He did speak again this afternoon. It was so late in the day we couldn't turn it around for this show today. You can check it out on Jaguars.com or Jag social media to see the latest on what he had to say. But plenty of things to discuss, of course. Let's continue on the offensive side. And, Jamal.
Before you do that,
yes, Jeff.
What we just saw, the comment that he made.
Big.
I mean, that's what you want. I mean, that's players understand that that's how it is in the National Football League, and that competition, when he says competition is always the great motivator, which it is, and that's how you get better players, is that you get better players, and then all of a sudden you create competition, and then it drives everybody to new heights. I mean, that's the perfect world that you'd want to live in. When you draft a left tackle in the second round, well, it probably makes your starter play a little bit better. And I think that's happened a little bit with Cam Robinson. There's nothing wrong with that. Competition always makes everybody better. And then what he said there at the end is that, look, if you need to make change, then we'll make change. But that's how it works. And that you can't continue to do the things that you do and expect some better results. And a lot of people may ask, well, does that include the quarterback? I think it would include the quarterback. If they felt that it was best for his development or best for this offense, would they create competition? Sure. But here's the reality. Trevor Lawrence is the better option. We saw the quarterbacks battle it out in training camp. C.J. Beathard didn't look great. The one small window that we saw where Trevor got hurt, he looked pretty good. But you can't evaluate it and sit there and go, in that small little snippet, go, oh, well, he played better when he was in there. Let's put him in there instead of Trevor. No. No, the evaluation encompasses a lot more than just that small little window that we got a chance to see in the regular season.
Let's hear a little more from Urban Meyer. The Jaguars have lost Jamal Agnew. He is now on injured reserve with a hip issue, and Urban Meyer Monday on Agnew's status.
Positive news. We're expecting full recovery. It is a hip injury. We'll know more as time wears on a little bit, but obviously we all love that guy. I personally, he's everything you want as a competitor, as a person, and he's got legit speed. So that's a tough blow, but we just got to keep going and figure it out.
The other players that were dinged up had some positive, results at least as well, which is good news moving ahead. The Jaguars' offense did not target Dan Arnold in the game. The tight end was the leading target, leading receiver, leading receiving yardage player for the Jaguars' offense since his arrival in Jacksonville, and Urban Meyer discussing why they couldn't get the ball to him.
It's hard to say throw it to him. We had ran a couple option routes to him, and they bracketed him. And that's the ball went somewhere else. So it's hard to, that's why I always like to hand the ball to your best players at times, because when you hand the ball to LaVisca, you can't take that away. You're going to hand the ball to him. You can take him away in the throw game, and that's what they did a little bit. I give them credit. They bracketed him a few times, and they realized the same thing. He's one of our best targets, and we weren't able to defeat that. So no, we were aware of it, and the conversation is more about this coming week.
So that's the Dan Arnold conversation. We'll get to all this coming up. That kind of obviously the offense struggled in the last little bit of time, but Dan Arnold was really one of the bright lights on the offensive side for the Jags, relative to what was going on. James Robinson has been a bright spot for the Jaguars offense throughout his run so far in Jacksonville, of course, but he hasn't the last few weeks at least been 100%. Urban Meyer yesterday on James Robinson's status.
I'm going to talk to him this week. We all love the guy, and he's tough as nails, and he doesn't say much, so I just don't feel the same open field running that he showed, when he was healthy. So we're going to, we just want to do right by him and do right by us. So that's, but he, there's no one tougher than that guy.
So we'll see. There's a lot to unpack there with the running back and the tight end not being able to get open, and Jamal Agnew's not available. That's a lot of offensive issues right now.
Yeah, and as the season progresses, typically you find more answers to the questions that you've had, and I think especially this last 4-game stretch, you've had more questions pop up than answers to the previous questions that existed. So that's a challenge, and it's always a challenge when you lose personnel. Make no mistake about it, and you overcome a lot of those at times because you have a quarterback with great experience, and he can help make up for some of the loss of the weapons that you may have, but you've had already a loss at the beginning of the season of weapons, and then now you've got a young quarterback who's struggling, and then he's losing more weapons. So it's kind of this little bit of a vicious cycle. And how do you get out of it? Well, you'd love to be able to hand the ball off to your best player, as Urban talked about a minute ago, and make sure that he gets the football. But James Robinson is not 100%. We've seen that. I think everybody can see that. He's just not quite 100%. And I'll say this again, I said it earlier. Him at less than 100% is still better than Carlos Hyde, your backup. I think that's very apparent. I mean, at least my eyes tell me that. So I still want to – I know that Urban talked about doing what's best for James Robinson and what's best for the team. What's best for the team, look, if James Robinson is at risk of getting hurt further, then you need to take him out because you need to make sure that you do right by him. But if he's not at risk of getting hurt worse, he's still your best option at running back. He's better than LaVisca. He's better than Carlos Hyde. He's better than Divine Ozigbo. He's better than Ogunbowale. That's facts. Facts. You can't change that. So that's, I think, a little bit of a quandary that this offense is in, is that you would like to go back, and I said this earlier as well, you would love to go back to what your core is. Your core is the running game and the strength of your offensive line. Even though you're without Linder. Look, you still got Chatley in there. He's a good football player. But you'd love to go back to what that was, the anticipated strength of your football team, and rely on that a little bit. But in that game against the 49ers, they shut it down. I mean, the 49ers shut it down. There was very little to no running room for James Robinson in that game. He had 12 carries for 29 yards, was not effective. And I don't think that's not any kind of indictment on James Robinson. I just think the 49ers just said, hey, look, we're going to stack the line. We know that 25's your guy. Good luck on the outside. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll cover those guys one-on-one.
Give it your best shot.
That's right.
Couldn't beat them.
We'll come back in a moment. More from Urban Meyer ahead. From Monday, we'll also get into the defensive play this past week and start looking ahead to the Atlanta Falcons in Week 12. It's the Urban Meyer Show on Jaguars Radio.
On the road, there's a thin line between safety and tragedy. Don't cross it. Give law enforcement, first responders, and service professionals the space to safely do their jobs. When you see flashing lights, move over a lane or slow down 20 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. See lights? Move over, Florida. Brought to you by the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles and the Florida Highway Patrol.
At ViStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. ViStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better. Visit vistarcu.org/join. Insured by NCUA.
Scrubbing soon to a location near you. You know and love the Scrubble Stars at the Town Center, Fleming Island, and Atlantic Beach. Now get ready for 4 new locations scrubbing soon this year, featuring Kernan, San Jose, Racetrack Road, and Oakleaf. Give your car the glitz and glam it deserves at the best car wash in town with free car prep, vacuums, window cleaner, and more. You can also catch us at every Jags home game and cool down at the Scrubby's Misting Arch. Drive in to see us now and in the future at our Scrubbing Soon locations. Scrubbles, trust the bow tie. You'll know quality once you arrive.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now. Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Welcome back. The Urban Meyer Show continues along the Jaguars Radio Network.
Well, this is a tough go right now, and I don't care about me. I care about the people that do all the work around here, these players, especially when I see a guy like Roy Robertson, arguably had his best game, had 2 sacks, 1 taken away because of penalty. You know, he's I can't wait to see him tomorrow. Once again, I've been so busy, I haven't had a chance to go visit with the players, but you know, it's taken away from some, you know, Tyson Campbell making some great plays on the ball now. You can see and doggone it, make your plays on offense and let's keep this thing rolling, because we had 3 drives on offense in the first half. 3 and out, a fumble, and then really a nice job that was kind of stopped with a penalty. And we kick a field goal and okay, let's go. And then we had a 3 and out again, but then you see in the second half had 2 good drives. One was stopped because of 2 sacks and a holding penalty, and Cam went down, and then the next one we went right down the field. So got a game this week against the Falcons. That's our focus, and improving and make sure we have the lineup correct.
That is Urban Meyer yesterday in his press conference. Welcome back to the Urban Meyer Show. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman, if you've just joined us. We recorded Urban Meyer yesterday for this show today. With the Thanksgiving holiday, there was changes in schedule, but we've lost the recording, so our apologies. We couldn't get with Urban today for the show. Coming up in a little bit, we will hear from Urban in today's press conference. With thanks to Andrew Gibson of 1010XL, we'll have some audio coming up the rest of the show from Urban.
The one of the fun exchanges that in the conversation that we had with Urban yesterday. Look, you know, we talked ball for a couple segments, and then we got on the topic of Thanksgiving there in the last segment, and JP, there was. This is rivalry week, I guess you could say, in college football.
Absolutely it is. No
because you've got the Commonwealth
Clash.
Is that what it's called? Commonwealth Clash?
You played it.
Yeah, but we didn't know. It wasn't called that when I was there.
Virginia Tech.
Yes.
That's probably not the premier rivalry game
I know.
this weekend.
I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that it's rivalry week. And then so this week, is it Florida State?
It also is.
Okay, that's a big game. Always has been. Well, it is from the standpoint of that it's a rivalry.
Okay. Sure.
And then you brought up the game, Ohio State, and then you asked him, and then he brought up something like, what did he say exactly?
It's rivalry week. It's Ohio State is playing the team up north.
And I didn't understand this. Yes. I did not have a clue. And I was going, what do you mean by the team up north?
And I tried to bait him into it. Hey, what team would that be? But he said the team up north. And that's it.
Right.
Because they don't use the word.
I had no idea what you're talking about.
Ohio State people don't use the word Michigan this week, or most weeks, and they mark out all the M's on signs around campus in Columbus.
Why?
Because it's Michigan, and they don't like the letter M. That's why.
But it was funny because he didn't say.
I don't even think that matters because they won like 14 of the last 15 against Michigan. Whatever.
And then we got on the conversation of Thanksgiving, and he said, look, got a lot to be thankful for. And then I had to quiz him. Right? I said, okay, Thanksgiving. Okay, fried turkey, roasted turkey, ham, what is it? He said, definitely not fried, roasted turkey. And mashed potatoes, cream spinach, and mashed potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, how about some gravy? He said, yeah, a little bit of gravy. Not a whole lot, just a little bit of gravy. So I told him, I said, look, you spend a week with me, I'll have him weighing 300 pounds in no time.
That's a true statement. That's a true statement.
Oh, there's no doubt. JP, if you hung out with me all the time, I'd have you to 4 bills.
Wow. That's I don't really have any doubt in that at all either, I'll be honest with you.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's where they are. So defense, right? They were on the field 20 plays. 13 minutes. Okay, that's one. They held them to a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Give them credit for that.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't get any help from the offense.
And let me just say again, if the 49ers had some awareness, it would not have been a field goal. It would have been a touchdown because they could have caught the Jaguars in an offside situation as they were running the 11th man on the field on the field goal block.
Right, all that. So next drive, 7 plays, 80 yards, touchdown. Debo Samuel runs for 25 in the score, 10-0.
By the way, Debo Samuel,
good player.
I mean, he's a really good player.
He's second leading receiver in the league, and they're lining him up in the backfield and handing him the football all day.
And it looks natural.
I know.
I mean, that's the thing that's impressive is that when he carries the ball, he is a natural, gifted runner. And top 5 player in the league going into that game and as far as yards after catch. So you know that the guy's got skills once he gets the ball in his hands. And then we watched him on Monday night and lined up in the backfield. And look, I've never seen Debo Samuel line up as a running back. That was the first exposure that I ever had to it. And I was watching the game and watching the film also. I'm like,
wait a minute.
What?
Who's this guy?
I mean, this guy looks – and also when you looked at him, you go, man – he's not built like a wide receiver. I mean, he's got the junk in the trunk and thick, and he's got that kind of that body type, but he looks kind of like a running back a little bit. And he's a good football player nonetheless. And if I'm Kyle Shanahan, I absolutely try to find all kinds of creative ways to get him the ball because he's an elite player.
Jaguars defense, though, I think the general point is that they were on the field a lot. They had some third down penalty mistakes. Mm-hmm. Yes, there was an offside.
An ejection. Injuries.
The injury stuff happened, But on the opening drive of the game.
By the way, just real quick, let me just comment on that ejection. If Rayshon Jenkins, okay, couple taunting. How many penalties does he have this year? Like when it comes to that,
he total on the season as a whole, he has 6 whole penalties. There are 2 taunting calls, and unnecessary roughness was back in week 1, and then this ejection. So 4 of his 6 are kind of extracurricular related.
Okay, four extracurricular deals, and in my opinion, conversation should go. Okay, Rayshon, love you, love the way you give us everything you got. Appreciate the leadership ability that you have and love the edge because edge is a good thing. But you can't go over that edge, and you did again. If you do it again, then the C's coming off. Would that not be fair?
I mean, yeah, all right. I mean, is that what you want representing the team?
Leonard Fournette leaves the bench to go insert himself into a fight in Buffalo.
Buffalo, correct.
He should have lost the C because he wasn't even on the field. It wasn't even an emotional moment. He should have lost his C off of his chest for that. And I think in this instance, you have a conversation with the player and say, look, we appreciate your leadership, but here's the deal. You hurt the team. And it's happened before, so here's the thing. If it happens again, the seed's got to go. That's fair.
Yeah, right.
There's got to be accountability. Anyway, I just wanted to make a comment on that.
So there's that. So that's our defensive conversation. We've got plenty of show ahead. We'll come back. We'll hear from Urban Meyer from today. He had a press conference right before we went on air locally here in Jacksonville today, and we'll get some of the highlights of that.
Awesome.
Coming up, it's the Urban Meyer Show on Jaguars Radio. Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything. Pinpoint, the official signage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, helps business decision makers like you maximize the impact of their brand. Your company's identification, advertising, and even the words you use make an impression on your clients. With Pinpoint as your coach, you can make sure it's a good impression. Pinpoint provides the creative design and production services for anything you need to enhance your brand, from custom signage to complete marketing solutions. Step up your game with Pinpoint and create the ultimate brand experience for your clients. Visit experiencepinpoint.com.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Great teams leave it all on the field. But with the powerful towing and payload that Ford F-150 delivers, you can take it all with you, too. No wonder Ford F-Series is America's best-selling truck 44 years straight. The 2021 Ford F-150, built for greatness. Visit your local Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
Welcome back. The Urban Meyer Show continues along the Jaguars Radio Network.
Yeah, I felt like, once again, we beginning of the season was awful, but then against the Cardinals, you started seeing some good stuff, and then you started seeing a nice trajectory. We ran the ball. We're up 19-10 on then we made a couple of mistakes against the Cardinals, and then I just felt good about the trajectory, and that changed about a month ago.
That's Urban Meyer today in his press conference, and welcome back to the Urban Meyer Show on the Jaguars Radio Network. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman. Usually we have the head coach in the first half hour, and if you've just joined us, well, we didn't this time because we recorded Urban yesterday. We lost the recording, technical issues here in the building. We apologize for that. We'll hear throughout the next half hour from Urban earlier today as we get ready for the Thanksgiving holiday coming up and the final preparations tomorrow, and then Friday, Saturday walkthrough for the Atlanta Falcons in week number 12 here at TIAA Bank Field. And that is the thing, hearing Urban say that, the offense was trending up, it felt like, earlier in the season. They had, second half lead on the Cardinals and a couple teams and couldn't finish the job in those games. And now it's gone the exact other way. They can't even get close to having a lead or barely are getting in the end zone.
Well, and the crazy thing is that this downward trend, the defense has kind of bounced back. And so you would think it would be easier to maintain the trend because of the defensive improvement, but the offense has just really gone in a southward direction very quickly, and it's got to change. And I think part of the reason why they were headed in the right trajectory is that you go back. Can you pull up the rushing numbers from the games that he's referring to, which if you go back and you look at the games that he's talking about, which you're talking about Arizona, Cincinnati, Tennessee, and Miami, that's the 4-game stretch.
Yes.
I want to look at, and I think the conversation needs to be about what were the rushing numbers in those games.
All right. I'll tell you exactly right now, starting with Arizona, right?
Mm-hmm.
159 yards rushing.
Okay.
Next week at Cincinnati, 139 yards rushing.
All right.
Tennessee game, 198 yards rushing.
Oh, okay.
And then you go back in the 80s a couple weeks, 79.
Where were they at for Miami?
Miami, they were 84 yards rushing.
Okay, not a lot, but Trevor was good. Okay.
Yes, he was.
Trevor's numbers in those 4 games. You got Trevor's numbers in those 4 games?
Give me just a moment.
Because look, a lot of times when you have a real strong running game, it makes it a hell of a lot easier on the quarterback.
You ready for them?
Yeah.
Arizona, he had a 68.1 rating.
Okay, it's not great.
22 at 34, 2 picks, not good.
Rough game.
At
Picks.
Cincinnati, 96.5.
Had a pretty solid game. Yep.
Didn't throw a touchdown pass.
And
he ran for one.
And I was going to bring up,
two.
that's the game that they kind of went back to some of the RPO stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because it wasn't great prior to that game. The Arizona game was a little bit of a struggle for Trevor. He was throwing a lot of interceptions, and then all of a sudden they go to Cincinnati, and then they start blending some of these college-type plays back in, and he looks like he was comfortable. And, look, you're exposing him when you do those kind of things. The question, I think, will be this week is, do you go back and do some of the things that you did in the Cincinnati game to get a comfort level back? And I don't know the answer to that, but it's going to be something that's interesting to watch. Okay, after Cincinnati, go to Tennessee.
Tennessee, 92.1 rating.
Pretty good.
Good day.
Pretty good.
Miami game, 93.4.
Trending upward, right?
Great
Everything
day.
you're feeling good about. Okay,
Yeah,
you got a first
and then-
overall pick and you like it.
And then the next 3 weeks are below 70.
60% ratings.
68 rating, 69 rating, and then below 60.
Below 60% completion percentage, and every game was below a 70
Yeah.
rating for him over the next
Not good.
3 games.
Not good.
Yeah, not what you want. And then the rating, I think, was a little bit over that this past game. But you just weren't able to string enough plays together as an offense to really say, okay, Trevor had a really good game. And I know that Urban said he had a good game.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it wasn't a bad game, I think would be a better way to put it.
We'll come back in a moment. More from Urban Meyer today. How do you keep Trevor Lawrence confident and ready? And then a discussion about Darrell Bevell from today's press conference as well, the Jaguars offensive coordinator. This is the Urban Meyer Show on Jaguars Radio.
On the road, there's a thin line between safety and tragedy. Don't cross it. Give law enforcement, first responders, and service professionals the space to safely do their jobs. When you see flashing lights, move over a lane or slow down 20 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. See lights? Move over, Florida. Brought to you by the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles and the Florida Highway Patrol.
Are you a Jags and a pet fanatic? Then enter for a chance to win your very own customized jersey and answer game day trivia live on the TIAA Bank Field video boards at an upcoming Jaguars home game and our Pet Fanatic of the Game sweepstakes presented by Pet Paradise. To enter, scan the QR code on the Sky Patio or go to jaguars.com/fanatic. Terms and conditions apply. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Must be 18 or older and a legal resident of Florida or Georgia.
Want to see the Jaguars take on the Tennessee Titans on the road? Here's your chance. Revente Cognac and the Jaguars are teaming up to send one lucky fan and a guest from Duval to Nashville for the big game. Enter now at jaguars.com/Revente Trip for your chance to win round-trip flights, lodging, and game tickets courtesy of Revente Cognac. No purchase necessary. Must be 21 or older to enter. Follow Revente Cognac on social media at Revente Cognac and visit ReventeCognac.com today.
Jags fans, did you know you can ride your bike to every Jaguars home game at TIAA Bank Field and Valley Park it for free? That's right. Stop by our bicycle check-in tent sponsored by Alert Today Florida near Gate 1 at TIAA Bank Field. An on-duty ZenCog bike professional will park your bike and ensure it's secure during the game. When the game is over, return your claim ticket to pick up your bike. For cycling safety tips, visit alerttodayflorida.com. Remember, Alert Today, alive tomorrow, because safety doesn't happen by accident.
Welcome back. The Urban Meyer Show continues along the Jaguars Radio Network.
Well, one of the reasons I hired Bev and also Brian Schottenheimer, they did it with Russell Wilson. And they weren't, resistive because we met for a long time. And I watched the film and I saw what they did with Russell as far as, break contain, RPO, the zone read type stuff. They did that with Russell. So, it's something, there's a fine line too about preparing a quarterback for a long career and then also keeping him out of harm's way. And those are conversations we have daily.
That is Urban Meyer today in his press conference. And welcome back to the Urban Meyer Show. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman. The Jaguars coming off the San Francisco loss, heading into a Week 12 matchup this Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons. A lot of conversation this week, obviously, about the Jags offense. They've scored 43 points in 4 weeks. Not in each of the 4 weeks, in 4 weeks total.
How many meaningful points?
What, 3 last week, but they were down 3 scores when that happened. That might not even count. I wouldn't even count that.
No, I wouldn't count 7.
No. No, certainly not the touchdown because it was garbage time.
Right.
But the field goal was 17-0.
Yeah, but just overall, it would be interesting to go back and say, okay, when if the game is tight, how many points, like in Seattle? How many points did you score in Seattle that were meaningful?
None.
Right. And they avoided the shutout at the end of the game.
Right.
But do you really consider that,
No, I don't.
A great score? No,
no.
That's what I think. That this team is struggling. Obviously, when you look at the numbers, but then if you try to break it down a little bit further and you look at, okay, well, how many meaningful points have they scored in the last 4 games? It's a little bit even more concerning than just saying, well, it's 43 points in 4 games. How many meaningful points? Well, not a whole lot. Got to be better. And that's why when Urban was just talking about, the reason he hired Bevel and Shoddy, which is Brian Schottenheimer, who was the quarterback's coach, passing game coordinator, and you talk to those guys, and the reason he talked about why he hired them was because they worked some of that stuff with Russell Wilson, and it was the read option stuff, and that's what Trevor ran when he was at Clemson. And what we were talking about before the break was that the Cincinnati game was the game that you kind of saw a little bit more of that type of flavor with the offense. But when you do more of that type of flavor, you also expose the quarterback to more hits and more potential injury.
No doubt.
And that's where Urban's talking about. You're trying to achieve a balance because you want to end up making sure that the quarterback stays healthy and long term. Are you going to have your quarterback running read option stuff when he's in year 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, whatever? And that's the hope. That he's going to be your quarterback for a decade and a half, 2 decades. And you don't want to get him crushed in his first year because, well, we're struggling and we got to make sure that we save our own face and do better with the offense because we're not doing very well. Let's go ahead and put our quarterback at risk. No.
Let's hear a short comment today of Urban discussing the possibility of more RPO in the offense.
Yeah, we can, and those conversations have been had. Do what he does well. Those are conversations we're having.
No, still having them. That's all you really had to say about it today. Another conversation about how do you keep Trevor's confidence now if things aren't going well.
I remind them they're professionals. We're all professionals. You got a job to do, go out and do it. And we're going to try to build this thing to be the vision hasn't changed here, that what we expect this place to be, and go out and beat the Falcons. That's what we're doing.
And finally, some confidence in the parts they do have on offense.
And we still have good players. You'll never hear me say that. The obvious that the 3 fast guys, ETN, Shark, and now Aggs, those guys are all legitimate fast. But we have all we need. We just have to be creative in the game planning and make some plays.
That's Urban Meyer today from his press conference. And, hey, there you have it. They're going to roll with what they have and try to figure it out a different way.
Well, that's all you do.
That's all you can do, right, at this point.
Yeah, and another thing, too, is that, okay, let's say last 2 weeks you've seen a lot of man coverage. Will the Falcons do something similar with Dean Pease? You obviously need to have a little bit of history, which I'm sure there's a book on Dean Pease. And to give you an example, if Dean Pease is a guy that runs a lot of man coverage, okay, well, you might want to have some routes to where you have man beaters, where you got rubs and washes and guys crossing on the field to where the traffic is disrupting the coverage, and you get open receivers. So there's a lot of different things that you can do from a play caller standpoint that will be fit to whether you're seeing man or whether you're seeing zone. And I think that's going to be something that as an offensive coordinator, you want to make sure that you're on point. And when I say on point, that you have the calls that give you the best chance of success for that particular defense.
We'll come back a little more from Urban ahead today as the Jaguars prep for the Atlanta Falcons. This is the Urban Meyer Show on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yingling Traditional Lager. The beer for drinkers who know how to tap into their inner eagle and spread their wings. So prepare yourself for takeoff and let your night take flight. When your lips meet that cold, crisp amber lager, there's no looking back. So fly over the radar. Tonight's about the lager, and this lager is all about soaring higher. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings. DJ Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please drink responsibly.
Enjoy fall savings going on right now at Renewal by Andersen. Save 20% on replacement windows, patio doors, and installation. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. Designed to withstand the harshest weather environments. Find out more at rbafla.com. This offer expires November 30th and restrictions apply. Renewal by Andersen, the official window and door replacement company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CGC 1527613.
Great teams leave it all on the field. But with the powerful towing and payload that Ford F-150 delivers, you can take it all with you, too. No wonder Ford F-Series is America's best-selling truck 44 years straight. The 2021 Ford F-150. Built for greatness. Visit your local Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk, checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk, checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
Welcome back. The Urban Meyer Show continues along the Jaguars Radio Network.
I think we're going to be okay there. It's day to day. He's got an AC sprain. It's nothing major. And then Shaq's day to day. Miles is good. Cam Robinson's is good. Dakota Allen, good news on him. I think we got him back for this one, which we need him. This returner we're facing.
That's Urban Meyer earlier today. The first person he was talking about was Tyson Campbell, who came down awkwardly on the shoulder. So that's good news.
The last guy that he was talking about coming back for the return game?
Dakota Allen. Because they're talking about covering the return game, that kind of thing. That's another question. Who are they going to have returning kicks and punts now?
Well, I mean, that's a great question. Clay Brooks could handle it. He's done some of that before. In fact, Clay Brooks was drafted last year mainly as a returner. I mean, having him play corner was really an afterthought. He was drafted for his returnability. So yeah, I mean, I would think that he would go into that role. The Tyson Campbell AC sprain can be incredibly painful. And I don't know how they handle it these days, but back in the day, I mean, it wasn't like a big deal. You'd shoot it up. You know, you insert a needle into that AC space and do a pain-killing injection, and then you'd rock and roll. You know, I mean, that's just how it used to be. Now things are a little bit different now. I don't know if they even allow that type of procedure to happen, but you know, the one thing about Tyson, I like the way he's been playing. I think he's gotten dramatically better. Gosh, he had a pretty rough go of it there against Cincinnati. Seattle was kind of a rough go of it too, and I thought he's gotten better. So it was good to see him improve, and I want to see him continue to improve. I like the way he plays. He plays hard, and he finishes, and he's got great length. And I think he's adjusted the way that he plays the ball now, which is significant, and it's made him more effective. When I say he's changed the way that he plays the ball, when a lot of defensive backs, when they cover a wide receiver, if the ball, quarterback's back behind me here this way.
That would be to your left.
Okay, and I'm running down the field as a corner. My eyes are not on the quarterback. You're running with the wide receiver. Defensive backs, a lot of them, what they do is at the last second when they realize that the ball is coming, they turn around to play the ball. That's where Tyson's gotten into trouble. And I've noticed a change in what he has done. Instead of turning around to find the ball, he's kept his attention on the wide receiver and then been a reaction where he tries to bust the ball up out of the receiver's hands.
When he sees the receiver looking at it and putting his hands up, maybe just hit the hands or whatever. Right?
But he's not trying to get his head back to the ball. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Because where he's gotten in trouble is trying to get the head back and then make a play on the ball, and then it's not happening.
Now lose the receiver.
You're not going to get a lot of interceptions that way, but you're going to have a whole lot more incompletions with him playing it that fashion instead of the old way that he played it. So I like the way he's made that adjustment, and now hopefully he can learn to get his head back around the ball, and then maybe also some zone situations where he's got his eyes back to the quarterback where he then can utilize his ball skills that he does have if he can find the ball. So maybe he can get some interceptions that way. But in man coverage, I like the way he's made the adjustment.
We'll take a timeout and get some final thoughts from Urban Meyer today in his press conference. This is the Urban Meyer Show on Jaguars Radio.
On the road, there's a thin line between safety and tragedy. Don't cross it. Give law enforcement, first responders, and service professionals the space to safely do their jobs. When you see flashing lights, move over a lane or slow down 20 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. See lights? Move over, Florida. Brought to you by the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles and the Florida Highway Patrol.
At VyStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise, to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. VyStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better. Visit vystarcu.org/join. Insured by NCUA.
Want to see the Jaguars take on the Tennessee Titans on the road? Here's your chance. Revente Cognac and the Jaguars are teaming up to send one lucky fan and a guest from Duval to Nashville for the big game. Enter now at jaguars.com/Revente Trip for your chance to win round-trip flights, lodging, and game tickets courtesy of Revente Cognac. No purchase necessary. Must be 21 or older to enter. Follow Revente Cognac on social media at Revente Cognac and visit ReventeCognac.com today.
Scrubbing soon to a location near you. You know and love the Scrubble Stars at the Town Center, Fleming Island, and Atlantic Beach. Now get ready for 4 new locations scrubbing soon this year, featuring Kernan, San Jose, Racetrack Road, and Oakleaf. Give your car the glitz and glam it deserves at the best car wash in town with free car prep, vacuums, window cleaner, and more. You can also catch us at every Jags home game and cool down at the Scrubby's Misting Arch. Drive in to see us now and in the future at our Scrubbing Soon locations. Scrubbles, trust the bow tie. You'll know quality once you arrive.
Jags fans, did you know you can ride your bike to every Jaguars home game at TIAA Bank Field in Valley Park it for free? That's right. Stop by our bicycle check-in tent sponsored by Alert Today Florida near Gate 1 at TIAA Bank Field. An on-duty ZenCog bike professional will park your bike and ensure it's secure during the game. When the game is over, return your claim ticket to pick up your bike. For cycling safety tips, visit alerttodayflorida.com. Remember, Alert Today, Alive Tomorrow, because safety doesn't happen by accident.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Welcome back. The Urban Meyer Show continues along the Jaguars Radio Network.
I feel our staff's got to do a good job, a little bit of creativity, which I feel we haven't done. And you got to get the ball in the hands of the guys that score, but we have to do that.
That's Urban Meyer today. Welcome back to the Urban Meyer Show. Coach Meyer had a press conference today. They moved the schedule around. Thanksgiving coming up, so the players will have Thursday off and staff, and so they're practicing today and tomorrow and then Friday to get ready for the Atlanta Falcons in Week 12. The creativity of the offensive game plan, the comment there. And Urban also today talking about the guys they're pulling off from everywhere to come play.
Yeah, I've always heard the stories, and we're in it now. You know, we're in it with injuries, where you're pulling guys off the street, or sit in Trent's office every morning, and we watch film. Where's this guy? He's on the street. I go, what does that mean? He's on the street. He's not physically on the street, but he's actually on a plane here right now. Okay, good.
There you go. A little learning curve for Urban, and that's the way it is. I mean, it's a season of attrition, and guys get hurt in the league all the time. You got to go have a plan in place to bring somebody else in to fill their spot.
Little different than having back-to-back top 10 recruiting classes, and you just pull another jar off the shelf.
Hey, freshman, you want some time to come play?
Yeah.
You're a 5-star. Come on in.
Yeah, I mean, if you like, for example, you look at the running backs that they had at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Through the years of Urban Meyer.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's Carlos Hyde, it's Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, it's just the defensive ends. From one Bosa to the next Bosa to Chase Young. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yep. Wide receivers are the same way.
That's the way it works.
Quarterbacks, I mean, they have had it all.
That's what makes, I think, the NFL, just one of the greatest challenges that there is. I mean, it's the greatest challenge in football because you can't go out and just recruit a football team that is superior to the ones you're going to be playing next year. It just doesn't work that way. I mean, it's a league that is built for everybody to have an opportunity at improving, and unfortunately, it doesn't always work for everybody. I mean, this team has been struggling for quite some time. I mean, you take 2017 out of it, it's been a struggle for this football team. And the way the league is built, you get a higher draft pick, and you have the tools to get better, and it's a challenge. But I mean, it's hard because you have to manage the football team in a way that's very demanding, and it's a tough way. It's a tough way to do it, and that's the way it is in the National Football League. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it, and I think that's why when you look at a guy like Bill Belichick, who's been able to do it with Tom Brady and then now without Tom Brady this year and year in and year out, the consistency that he's been able to put to that organization, it's amazing. It is truly amazing. They don't pay him enough money, I can tell you that.
Nobody knows what he's getting paid.
Nobody does.
No, but
what do you think he makes?
I have
if you had to guess, if you were the owner of an NFL team,
Robert Kraft probably just gave him the checkbook and said, "Here, write what you'd like."
What would you pay him? If you owned an NFL team, what would you pay him?
A share of ownership, maybe? Is that allowed? I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe. Why not?
I mean, is he not worth $20 million?
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
if you're paying players, if your franchise quarterback is getting paid, a lot of franchise quarterbacks are making up to $40 million, wouldn't Bill Belichick be worth 20?
Yeah, in theory.
At least.
Yeah, in theory.
I mean, it's just interesting. I mean, that's because he's been a great coach for a long period of time.
Jaguars get the Falcons this Sunday, 1 o'clock kickoff time at TIAA Bank Field. The Falcons at 4-6, the Jaguars at 2-8. Hope to see you here. Logs, happy Thanksgiving.
And to you, JP.
Yeah, Joe Fortunato, Brent Reber, our entire crew, thank you for watching online and listening as the Jaguars get ready for week number 12. This has been the Urban Meyer Show on the Jaguars Radio Network.